Black History Decoded. The Mali Empire, particularly during its peak under rulers like Mansa Musa, was known for its deep respect for other Muslims and its commitment to the Islamic faith. So you have to ask yourself, what went wrong under light-skinned Muslim rule? Prophet Muhammad would undoubtedly be appalled by centuries of racism towards black Muslims. So would Jesus, which Muslims supposedly respect as well. The core message of Islam, as exemplified by Muhammad's teachings and actions, explicitly and radically rejects racial superiority and discrimination. So what happened? 1. Here's a breakdown of how the Mali Empire treated other Muslims, promoting Islamic learning and culture. The Mali Empire became a major hub for Islamic scholarship. Under Mansa Musa, cities like Timbuktu flourished as centers of learning, attracting scholars and architects from across the Muslim world. Mansa Musa built mosques and madrasas, Islamic schools, with the University of Sankore in Timbuktu becoming renowned throughout the Islamic world. This promotion of learning and culture demonstrates a strong respect for the intellectual and spiritual aspects of Islam. 2. The pilgrimage of Mansa Musa. Hajj. Mansa Musa's famous pilgrimage to Mecca in the 14th century is a prime example of the empire's reverence for Islam. His extravagant journey, with a massive caravan and vast amounts of gold, was a public and lavish demonstration of his piety and the wealth of his empire. The pilgrimage not only fulfilled a key pillar of Islam but also advertised the power and legitimacy of the Mali Empire to the wider Muslim world, forging alliances and diplomatic ties. 3. Integration into the wider Islamic world. Through trade and the Hajj, the Mali Empire was deeply connected to the broader Islamic world. Mali's merchants and traders, many of whom were Muslim, benefited from a faith that provided a location-independent system of cultural capital and rights of entry into other Islamic nations. The empire's rulers, like Mansa Musa, sent scholars to major centers of learning like Fez in Morocco for religious tolerance and syncretism. While the Mali Empire was officially Muslim and its rulers were committed to the faith, it also demonstrated a high degree of religious tolerance. The empire was multi-ethnic with diverse religious groups, and traditional African beliefs and customs coexisted with Islam. Rulers often blended Islamic practices with local traditions, and the law was not always based strictly on the Quran. Mansa Musa, for example, never outlawed other faiths, fought a religious war, or forced conversions. He tolerated alternative religious expression as long as citizens fulfilled their civic duties. This approach of coexistence and syncretism allowed for a stable, multi-religious society, which Christians and light-skinned Muslims had a problem with. Ask yourself why. Why did Christians and Muslims for centuries upon centuries have this nasty attitude towards blacks? The Arab and European invasions into Africa are well known. Invading African territories and causing problems for the Africans. Somehow the blacks are the problem. Sounds like a colonial mindset, and we are to trust their version of historical events when they can't even understand the teachings of Muhammad and Jesus. 5 different experiences for Muslims. It's also important to note that the experience of Muslims within the empire varied. Muslims in commercial towns often enjoyed a degree of autonomy and were subject to their own religious law and judges' qadi, while Muslims in the royal courts were more integrated into the state's political system. The famous traveler Ibn Battuta, who visited Mali, noted some aspects of Malian society, such as the public nudity of some women and girls, that he considered blameworthy by his own standards, highlighting the blending of different cultural norms within the empire. In summary, the Mali Empire did respect other Muslims, actively integrating with the wider Islamic world through trade, diplomacy, and scholarship. However, this respect was part of a larger, tolerant approach to religion that allowed for the coexistence and blending of Islam with traditional African beliefs, which was a key factor in the empire's stability and success, which Christians and light-skinned Muslims could not duplicate. Centuries of not understanding their own religion. Shame.